Matt Makins here in this daily shower, tracking a storm system that'll be developing as we go throughout the course of next week into Christmas, and it's going to deliver a lot of snowfall. There it is, popping up now over the central plains. It'll head toward the Great Lakes. The mid-Atlantic will catch some heavy precip as well. This comes along with cold temperatures, very cold throughout most of the country leading up to Christmas. That's coming up. Welcome to the Daily Shower. Matt Makins here. We're tracking that system for next week. Very cold. What that means for your area coming up in a moment. Just a quick word of thanks. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that sub button. Leave your comments and feedback down below. As we get started, the hazards we're looking out for next week leading into Christmas will be very cold temperatures shown in the blue shades and risks of heavy snowfall shown in the pink areas. It's important to know that this video is to give you a heads up. For location-specific information, you really need to rely on your National Weather Service office that serves your county. As far as folks in Colorado, you're going to have a lot more details on this storm on weather5280.com in the days going throughout next week into Christmas. What are we talking about here? Well, we're going to have persistent cold moving in from the north, Arctic cold from Canada. As we get into the midweek, this is going to be Wednesday into Thursday. A system develops over the northern Rockies, passes over Colorado and the central plains, and kind of a pair of systems here will develop and spread widespread impacts in the forms of rain and snow from the Ohio and Tennessee valleys out to the mid-Atlantic and to the New England states. Again, it's a storm system that develops over the Pacific Northwest and northern Rockies, goes over Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, and Kansas. It becomes a much bigger impact later in the week into Christmas. Big travel delays. Here comes the cold. Watch the surge of cold there as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That cold goes all the way over the Gulf of Mexico. That's how powerful this is. Now, this is an early projection here, but if things go unchanged, this kind of surge of cold is what we saw a couple of winters ago in February. Remember the cold outburst that hit Texas? Similar numbers will be felt here. So let's get more specific on the cold and some numbers for you. This is going to be Wednesday morning. Montana, the Dakotas, and in Minnesota, as well as Wisconsin. Folks, may be as cold as 20 below zero. Certainly teens below. As you get into Wyoming, Nebraska, Iowa, parts of Colorado, single-digit lows, and around the Great Lakes, mostly teens. If you're down to the south and the Gulf Coast states, your lows are still 30s and 40s. Let's get into Thursday morning. Thursday morning now, the temperatures that were 20, in some cases 25 below zero, are now moving southward. A lot of Nebraska and Iowa will be below zero. We have readings above and below zero in the single digits throughout Colorado, Kansas, into Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin at this point. From Oklahoma into Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, parts of Arkansas, parts of Tennessee, lows move into the teens. Parts of Oklahoma may actually have some single-digit lows. And again, we're talking about Thursday morning. Let's look at Friday morning now. We have parts of Texas well below freezing with teens and 20s there. Gulf Coast states down across the deep south, a lot of lows in the teens. Single digits have moved into portions of Kentucky and Tennessee, Indiana. We are well below zero from the central into the northern plains as well as the upper Midwest. Very, very cold. As you look at Saturday morning now, this is Christmas Eve in the morning, we have temperatures still well below zero over the northern plains. We've now spread single-digit temperatures into the Great Lakes, moving into portions of New York, Pennsylvania, catching some single-digit lows, as well as West Virginia and Virginia. So very, very cold. That cold spreading out toward the east. And at that same time, of course, we're spreading snowfall in that direction. As far as Christmas morning, what Santa's going to have to fly through is very cold, but not as cold. This is Christmas morning. We're still below zero for the upper Midwest and parts of the northern plains, but moderating elsewhere. Still seeing single digits across the Great Lakes into New England states, but around Texas and the south, all the way out toward Arizona, we still have below freezing temperatures. So that's several days worth of this cold, and in many cases, just frozen straight through. It's very, very cold, obviously. Let's chat about some snowfall. It is too early to get very specific. Zooming the map in now, we have, more than a foot. 1 to 2 feet of snowfall is going to be possible as that system develops late in the week and moves on through. Midweek for the mountains, late week into the weekend for the Northeast. Let's look in here. So for New England, for example, Going into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, it's possible that 1 to 2 feet of snow will have fallen in these areas, and in some cases maybe even more than that in parts of New York. Again, very, very early. So just in general terms, we know that there's going to be snowfall and a white Christmas for parts of the northern plains, the Great Lakes, and New England. It's going to be probably is, I shouldn't be firm yet because it's so far, but likely some major travel impacts as we get into the late week, into Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the early part of the following week. So that's your daily shower. That gets you caught up on what the cold looks like for next week, as well as the snow chances going into Christmas. We'll see you for the next video. I'm Matt Makins. Have a great holiday season.